Hey everybody, welcome and thank you for joining me today on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about and exploring the case of Breonna Taylor. Okay, so before we do that, let's start off with the wellness check. How are we feeling on a scale of 1 to 5? Okay, 1 being the lowest, like we're down there, we're in our right minds, we can have this conversation. 5, we're like up there, we're a little antsy. There's probably some biases that we have to check coming in. Okay, but I think that it is very important for us to acknowledge our feelings and our emotions when we talk about heavy topics such as Breonna Taylor. So we do check our biases and we can have an open mind and 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 therefore we can have an open discussion on this case, right? Okay. So March 13th, police were executing a search warrant at Breonna Taylor's apartment. From my understanding, they had two targets being Glover, which is Breonna's ex-boyfriend, and Walker, who was Breonna Taylor's current boyfriend during the time, okay, during the raid. And they were both suspected of selling controlled substances. So let's revisit the scene. Let's revisit the night of March 13th, where everything happened. Um, so, from my understanding, Walker and Breonna Taylor, they heard loud noises, loud banging at the door. Um, the door was busted down. Police bust down the door. Walker fired the first shot. Okay. It is very important to note that Walker has a license to carry. I've been seeing multiple accounts of, well, none of this would ever happen if Walker didn't shoot first and this and that. Walker was in his own home with his girlfriend, and Walker has a license to carry. Okay, so I know there's the stigma where we like to paint the black guy out as, just this typical thug and, all of this and that, but that's not the case. Walker had a license to carry and he was in his home with his girlfriend. Okay. Um, so they thought someone was breaking in. Again, from multiple witness statements and Walker himself, they say police did not identify themselves. So I think that is very important to note as well. Walker and Breonna did not know who was at the door. They did not know. They just thought someone was breaking in. And from my understanding, Walker thought that it was Glover, Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend. Okay. So they broke in. Walker fired the first shot. He injured an officer in the leg, shot him in the leg, injured him. Then police responded with firing back 20 rounds. Okay. So one shot from Walker, 20 shots, 20 rounds from police officers. Okay. Through that crossfire, Breonna Taylor was unfortunately shot and killed 5 times. Okay, so she was shot 5 times. So now let's revisit. Let's talk about the lawsuit. So Taylor's family attorney, they filed a wrongful death lawsuit. Taylor family attorney says that officers entered without knocking and announcing themselves. Okay, so they did a no knock entry, pretty much. You have 12 witness statements. Remember, that's why I was saying that. But anyway, so there's 12 witness statements. Out of those 12, one does say. I think that is very important to note. One does say that that they may have heard police or whatever. Yes, they did hear police knocking, entering, all of that, announcing themselves. But out of that one, you have 11 others saying no, there was no, they didn't hear police announce themselves. They didn't hear they didn't hear any of that. Okay, they didn't hear that. What is even more important to note is that out of those 12 witness statements, they all differ from law enforcement. So law enforcement claims are not matching any of the witness statement claims. So I think that is very important to note going in, and just information to keep in your back pocket. Okay. So now let's get into the neighbors lawsuit. Let's get into what really happened on September 23rd and what really brought these charges forward for the murder of Breonna Taylor. That's what he is. He murdered her. He's not a cop. He's not anything pristine. He's a murderer. Okay. So the neighbors lawsuit claims that a man was nearly shot, that law enforcement sprayed gunfire into the apartment with total disregard for value of human life. Okay. From my understanding, this is what the neighbors' lawsuit claims. This is what they're claiming. All right, so let's keep that into our back pocket. The neighbors filed a lawsuit as well. Okay. So on September 15th, right, September 15th, Taylor's family received $12 million from the city, and they agreed to reform police practices as part of the settlement. Is 12 million to start? Yes. There have been numerous other black people, especially black men, who get shot and killed, and don't get anything. There's no justice. There's no, there's no nothing. So 12 million, it is a start. However, it's not nearly enough. No, there is no monetary value on Breonna Taylor's life. No monetary value. 12 million will never be enough, ever. Okay. I think that's very important to note, because I'm seeing a lot of people, unfortunately, my people saying, well, we've made them think that all we want is money and this. No, that's not all we want. In addition to that, we also really are fighting for police brutality, for systematic racism. Money helps, but money is not everything. Money is not Breonna is not here. Breonna is not here, and I am very sure that her family would give that 12 million up to have Breonna back. Money is not and will not ever be enough for an innocent black life lost, ever. Okay. So let's revisit the outcome. So let's jump ahead to September 23rd. Okay. So on September 23rd, a grand jury indicted Hankinson. Remember, this is the murderer of Breonna Taylor, on 3 counts of wanton endangerment for actions that led to near-death situation in the neighbor's apartment. Now let's say that again for those of you who do not understand that and did not quite get that the first time. Hankinson, the murderer of Breonna Taylor, was charged with 3 counts of wanton endangerment for his actions that led to the near-death experience of the neighbors. Who are still alive, who are not injured, okay? Okay. So, in my research, it was honestly a little bit shocking to not see more of this on the media. There were so many little things that were so important that really brought the picture full for me, which is why I think that it is very important for me to share with you guys. So let's revisit a few errors in the police report, okay? So the police report indicated that that Breonna Taylor had no injuries. That was the initial police report, that she had no injuries. Breonna Taylor was shot 5 times. The woman was murdered. She was murdered. She was shot 5 times. There was nothing in a police report about that. The police report also indicated that police did not force themselves into apartment, but yet the police used a battering ram to force themselves into the apartment. So the police report already contains multiple errors. Multiple. In addition to the fact that no body camera footage was worn. There was no body cameras on. Okay. So keep all of that in mind, okay? So let's revisit when black folk knew the jury, okay? We knew the verdict when police was putting up barricades, right? I remember getting on social media and seeing this, and I'm all like, that is so odd. Why would you barricade the city? Oh, not only that, but they declared a state of emergency. So Kentucky declared a state of emergency, and they put up barricades around the city. I believe it was downtown. But why would you do that if justice was going to be served? They knew there was going to be protests. They knew there was going to be civil unrest. And black folk knew. We knew. Okay. So, he declared a state of emergency, and the city chief police, Robert, placed barricades to restrict movement. And they also set curfew for 72 hours from 9 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. Again, black folk knew. We knew there was going to be no justice. We knew that I mean, my people knew we were going to have to take to the streets, and I'm pretty sure that is what they were gearing up for. Okay. So for those of you who do not know what wanton endangerment is, because that is actually the first time during the Breonna Taylor case, that is the first time I personally have saw the word. So I took it upon myself to do some research, to gather things, and to share that with you guys. Quick Google search. So under Kentucky law, it is a person who wantonly, I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. Sorry. Engages in conduct which creates a substantial danger of death or serious physical injury to another person. Okay, aka reckless endangerment. Where I'm from, we call it reckless endangerment. So that's probably why that word went over my head and I didn't understand it. Okay, so think reckless endangerment. Also, I think that it is very, very important to note that according to Daniel, who is the Attorney General overseeing the prosecution in Kentucky, he claims Hankinson, who was the murderer of Breonna Taylor, the murderer of Breonna Taylor, he was being charged with shots he fired that passed through Breonna Taylor's apartment walls into the neighbors. Okay, so now we're going back to September 3rd. We're revisiting the grand jury. We're revisiting the jury's decision. Okay, so they did indict him. They did indict the murderer, but they only indicted him on charges pertaining to wanton endangerment of the neighbors. There was literally no direct charges filed against him, or he was not. Excuse me, I'm not a law person, so I believe I'm getting my terminology wrong. But he was not. There was no justice served for Breonna Taylor. Okay, he was not charged with anything directly related to Breonna Taylor, and from my understanding, that is because prosecution is saying that there is no way to prove that the bullets were from any of the police officers. So by that, I mean, I don't know who shot Breonna, because if they're saying the boyfriend only shot once and police are firing 20 rounds, okay. It is also very important to note that Hankinson, he violated police department practices, right? He fired into the sliding glass patio door of Breonna Taylor and her window, both of which were covered by blinds. Okay, that is against police policy in Kentucky. They have to have a line of sight. So not only did he not have a line of sight, not only were there no body camera footages worn, not only did the police report state that Breonna Taylor had no injuries, not only did the police report state that there was no forced entry, but they used a battering ram, not only did the police say that they did knock and enter, but they didn't. So many errors throughout this case. So many errors throughout this case. So this case was extremely mishandled from my point of view. It was honestly very sloppy in trying to, again, make it seem like the black people are the perpetrators, make it seem like we're the aggressors, we're doing all of this. They even went so far as to try and have Breonna Taylor's boyfriend conspire against her. I believe they tried to give him a deal, a cop a plea deal. Just extremely sloppy. But I just want my people to know that I hear you. I see you. There is so much more work to be done. I believe in the cause that we are doing. I believe in peacefully protesting. I believe in getting our voices out there and our voices heard. As we all know, black women are the most unrepresented group in America, okay? Beyonce made that worldwide famous in her Lemonade, and of course that came from the great Malcolm X himself. Black women, yes, they are the most unrepresented group in America. And yesterday, September 23rd, showed that very crystal clear, how there could be no charges brought against the officers at all for Breonna Taylor's death. It's not beyond me. I am black. I am not. This is not new to me. Okay, I have been seeing my people die at the hands of white people, die at the hands of white officers, and not getting justice. So this was not at all new to me. It was something, again, unfortunate, but not new, right? So I guess this goes to show, I guess this then goes to leave, like, well, what does this leave us? I believe this leaves us in Black people really doing their research. I think that it is so important for us to research things on our own terms. We can't always rely on social media. We can't always be on the shady room. We can't always be on Twitter, on Black Twitter, trying to get our information. Sometimes we really have to, do the searches ourselves. And Google is out there. All of the information that I've had, it was a very quick Google search. But again, a lot of it was not being covered in the media. And I think that it was very important for me to come here and compile that and hopefully get that out to you guys and bring more awareness to the case and shed light on some areas that I myself was not informed of. We have to vote. We have to vote. Okay? We got to get that man up out of office, y'all. We have to. It is just as simple as that. There should be no way that we are in 2020 in America and this is how things are going. It is really time, Black people, to wake up. Okay? It is time for us to vote. It is time for us to educate ourselves. It is time for us to really truly put our Black dollar in Black-owned businesses. Hit the white folk where it hurts. Hit them where they hit us. White folk, they won't fight us. They will hit you in your pockets. They want you to be homeless. They don't want you to have anything, no assets, no residuals, no money. White folk want you to have nothing. We have to start hitting them where it hurts, in their pockets. That is the only language they understand is wealth and money. Slowly but surely, Black folks start taking the money out of their pockets, start putting it into our pockets, start putting it into those Black-owned businesses, especially those small Black-owned businesses, okay? Again, voting. I want to see every Black person at the polls. I will be there. I will absolutely be there voting to get this man out of office. I will be there voting to support the cause and to help my people. Again, this man has not said one word. I'm talking about Trump. Trump has not said one word about Breonna Taylor's unfortunate passing and any condolences. However, his prayers and thoughts were with the officers who were injured in the protest on September 23rd for Breonna Taylor. So that should just very well show you that racism is at an all-time high, okay? Our commander-in-chief is probably one of the most racist people I know. So again, my people, we have to get out there. We have to educate ourselves. I'm seeing the protest. I'm hearing the protest. I want you guys to know that you guys are doing great. Keep it up. Keep the peaceful protest up, as that is one of your rights, okay? That is one of your rights to peacefully protest. I know that the white man is trying to take that away. I know that the white man is meeting you guys with tear gas, and they themselves are meeting you guys with violence. Continue to peacefully protest, okay? Continue to do so. But we need real change. We need police reform. We need to combat systematic racism at its core. We need to combat racism at its core. Call them out. Call these people out. Let them know what you're doing is racist. Let you know that you're not here for it, okay? Breonna Taylor, my thoughts are with you and your family. I'm still going to continue to watch this case. I was so disappointed to hear that you were not receiving justice. So disappointed to hear that, Breonna. I hope that you are finding peace. I hope that you are soaring high in them skies, you beautiful, beautiful Black woman, okay? I remember seeing your picture for the first time and just being like, oh my gosh, she is drop dead gorgeous. Still a queen. You are still a queen, Breonna. My thoughts are definitely with you and your family. Prayers go out to them. My condolences. To my people, keep up the work, keep up the fight, keep up the peaceful protest, keep up the peaceful protest. We will see this through the end. Yeah. So let's do a wellness check, okay? Let's do a wellness check to end the video. Like I said, in the beginning, I started out at a 3, talking things through and working things out and having my emotions there, I can honestly say I'm about at a one. Okay, so I went down. Okay, so I went down about two. Sorry, my computer locked up. So I went from a three till about a two, or to a one. Excuse me. I'm very calm. I'm collected. I feel like talking this out really helped me even more. Talking it out loud. So what are you guys at now? What is your wellness check? Um, Thank you guys so much for joining me today for talking and exploring the case of Breonna Taylor. Please let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. I cannot wait to join you guys down below. Please leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down depending on how you're feeling, depending on how you think I did. And if you like the content, please subscribe for more. Again, my name is Romello, and these have been my Black Man Thoughts.